What's going on, everybody? Today I'm going to be showing you guys how I made another version of my Copycat Chipotle Barbacoa. This time it was smoked. I think this is going to be pretty delicious because it's already looking amazing, smelling amazing. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to show you exactly how I modified the recipe just a little bit to come up with this. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, also for this smoked version of the Copycat Chipotle Barbacoa, what we're going to do is pretty much start out almost exactly the same way as we do for the regular version, which if you haven't seen that, it's on my channel. Of course, I'll put a link to it. But the first thing that we're going to do before we slice this up is go ahead and just season it. And this is SPG that we've got here. So just a light layer because we're going to slice this up and then we're going to get all the sides in a moment. But again, just like from last time, I find that it's just a lot easier to start seasoning this while it's still not cut up and then finish it once it is. So we're going to get the top, the bottom, all the sides, and then there's just less sides to flip when you've got it all cut up. I'm going to split this down the middle, just like this, and then flip it on that cut side and make some chunks. So this was about a little over 2.5 pounds of chuck. So typically about 2.5 to 3 pounds is the ratios that I use for this recipe here. A little bit of a smaller chunk there, no big deal. But now once we've got it all chunked up like this, just flip it over to the sides where you haven't seasoned yet. Get them all close and then season those. No binder necessary for this. If you want, you could use something. You could probably use like, in this recipe, I am going to be using the smoked Tabasco. And you can use that smoked Tabasco as a binder if you'd like, or just mustard. Either way, at the end of the day, you don't need a binder. So I'll leave that up to you. All right, and then once you've got a nice coating on it just like this, all we're going to do is just go ahead and toss this on the smoker. We'll talk about that in just a second. I'm going to put this aside for right now, though, so that we can make the marinade or the broth itself that this is going to braise in later on. So let me put this aside, and I'll show you how we do that. All right, so very similar to last time, we're going to come in here with a little over a half a cup of beef broth. So I'm going to be probably closer to about 3/4 cup here. And that's because I don't want it to dry out. I don't know how this is going to react on the smoker, so we'll see. But I'm going to add just a little bit more liquid. And then we need a half a cup about of apple cider vinegar. Kind of just eyeballing here. And I've got 3 limes that I'm going to squeeze in. And then after that, we're going to come in with a tablespoon of cumin. Got a tablespoon of dried oregano. Got a 1/4 teaspoon of ground cloves. Half a tablespoon of salt. Tablespoon of black pepper. What looks to me to be about 5 ground cloves of garlic. And then we've got a few bay leaves to throw in there. And the part of this dish that makes it taste the best is some smoked Chipotle Tabasco. And so this is to taste as much as you want. I'm going to do definitely a few shakes because this is where amazing flavor comes from. And then once you've got all the ingredients put together here, all we're going to do is just mix this, put it in the fridge, and then let it sit and let those flavors get together. And those flavors will all get together and make an amazing taste for this dish. So just like so, we're going to toss this in the fridge. We're going to go outside and we're going to go ahead and put that chuck on the smoker. And that's where this recipe changes. So normally I would sear those. And then after searing, we'd put it in the crock pot. We're going to do this all on the smoker. So let's go ahead and do that now. All right, so now we're out here by the smoker, of course. And again, as usual, we're running this at 190 degrees Fahrenheit, smoke level 8 on this. We're going to keep this on here likely for about at least 3 hours. So I'll check in with it at about 3 hours. And then once that point has been passed, we're going to get this transferred over into the aluminum pan with that marinade that we just made. So tossing these all on the left side of the smoker. On the right side, we do have the smoke tube going. Bear Mountain Oak Pellets as usual. And so just positioning these kind of separate from each other so that they all have a chance to get some smoke around them. And so now that that's done, like I said, easy enough, just going to close this up and let it do its thing. We'll check in about 3 hours. All right, so after about 3 hours, smoking at 190, this is what we're working with as far as the chunks of chuck go. So the next step here is to pull these off. We're going to drop them into this aluminum pan along with the marinade mixture that we've got there. Pour it all over, and then stick this right back onto the smoker, and then we're going to bump the temperature up to about, I'd say about 250, and just let this essentially braise inside of the smoker. At this point, what you can do is really just put this into a crock pot, put it into an oven, put it into some kind of a heavy pan, and just cook it off that way. But since I've already got the smoker running, I'm just going to go ahead and use it while I've got it out. So let me go ahead and get this transferred over, and then we'll get them covered in that braising liquid along with some aluminum foil over the pan. And yeah, as you can see, those have some really nice red smoky color to them. This is going to taste amazing. But now we just go ahead and just pour this all right over. We'll give them a little toss, a little mixing to make sure that all the ingredients come together. And like so. Make sure that all the bay leaves are in the liquid itself. And now that it's all mixed together, I'm just going to get this covered with aluminum foil and then stick it right back on the smoker. All right, and so now that this is covered up in the aluminum foil, we're just going to go ahead and let this sit on the smoker. I'm going to probably check this, I don't know, I'd say it at about the 3 hour point, but I think that this is going to take at least another 4 to 5 hours. So we'll let it keep rolling here again at 250. So I'll see you back a little later. All right, so we are at the 3 hour mark here. What we're going to do is just test for doneness. So by just taking this off the pan, or out of the pan here, I'm going to just give these a squeeze to see how ready they are to shred. And like that's pretty much there. So maybe just about another half hour I'm going to let this go. And then I'm going to shred it and then put it all back in so that it incorporates again with the juices. But these are essentially ready. So I'm going to cover this back up for a little bit longer, and then we'll wrap it up and get this put in some tacos. All right, also, here's the plan. My gut is telling me to take this off, get this shredded, and then just go ahead and put it right back on the smoker, uncovered. So that's what I'm going to do. It's looking amazing, and it's going to shred nice and easily. Yeah, that's perfect. So let's just go ahead and shred this up. You can see there, nice smoke ring developed there as well. So I think this is going to have a nice, wonderful, smoky aroma to it, along with some of those Mexican style flavors. That chipotle should come through nicely, and it should make for honestly an amazing barbacoa burrito bowl or taco. Quick note, I've got cotton underneath these gloves, so this makes it a lot more manageable. Without the cotton underneath, this would not be manageable, so please be careful when you're doing this. All right, and now once it's all shredded up like this to your liking, like I said, I'm going to go ahead and put this right back on the smoker and let that cook off some of the liquid and get the flavors really in there. All right, also here is the spread for what we've got going on. We are doing burrito bowls today. So I've got obviously the smoked Chipotle Barbacoa that we've made here. Got some black beans. These are seasoned black beans out of a can. Got to have the Chipotle Tabasco. This is what makes the dish. Got your blend of cheeses here, some cut up romaine lettuce, and some sour cream, of course. So I've got the bowl already put together here, but of course for the camera, we got to do a taste test of this. I mean, exactly what you'd be looking for. Hint of some smoky flavor, all the classic tastes of the Chipotle Barbacoa that you're looking for. Super tender, super delicious. I mean, this is absolutely fantastic. If you got some extra time and you want to fiddle around with it, put it on the smoker as opposed to the crock pot. This tastes absolutely delicious. You know, For a weekend, I would absolutely do it like this every single time. Weeknight, definitely in the crock pot. But again, now for the bowl itself, you got your white rice, season that up with some Mexican spices as well. The lettuce, got the cheese, got the sour cream, and got the barbacoa. So let's go in here with a nice good bite. Forgot the most important part. Got to have the Tabasco. Nice healthy amount. It's going to be delicious. Here we go. Yeah, I already know this is going to be a hit at the house. So, finish that in a bit. Quick recap. As always, start off low and slow. 190 at the level 7 to 8 on the smoke for the Camp Chef. Again, that helps it get as much smoke as it can get from that pellet smoker, along with the smoke tube itself. Once it's been about 3 to 4 hours, you can transfer it over to that aluminum pan, along with all the other the mixture that we had, and then let it cook. In total, I think in the pan it went for about 4 hours. Uncovered it, shredded it, put it back on. It got a little bit crispy up at the top, which is perfect. And then you're done. That's it. This is right to the table. So absolutely delicious. Allow yourself about 8 hours, just like you would in a crock pot on low. A little bit more work, but it speaks for itself. It's a whole lot better. So thank you so much for watching, everybody. We're going to wrap this up because I want to eat this and everybody else in the house wants to eat this as well. So I'm going to go ahead and feed them with this, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Happy Cinco de Mayo.